Hey, you Stygian Dogs. July 16th saw the release of Conan the Barbarian, Thrice Marked for Death. Such a great title. The Thrice Marked for Death trade paperback collects issues 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the ongoing Conan the Barbarian series from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. In this video, I'll provide an overview, a flip through, and some general impressions of the trade paperback itself, as opposed to a review of the excellent story and illustrations. For an in-depth look and reviews of the aforementioned, I'd encourage you to check out my Thrice Marked for Death playlist. As we flip through, I'll also touch upon the forthcoming issue number 13 of the ongoing series. Here we go. And the front cover art is from Roberto de la Torre. We see Conan the Barbarian, Thrice Marked for Death, sub Braithwaite Rodriguez. And on the inside cover, an advertisement for John C. Hocking's Conan City of the Dead, and opposite that, a title page. Followed by team credits for Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics, and then the cover page. Conan the Barbarian, Thrice Marked for Death, written by Jim Zub, art by Doug Braithwaite, colors by Diego Rodriguez, letters by Richard Starkings of Comic Craft, map illustration by Francesca Barald, editor Chris Botera, original series editor Matt Murray. And then, of course, the wonderful two-page map by Francesca Barald. And this is followed by the Numidian Chronicles. I'll note here that it's nice to get the complete version. In the comic books, usually we get the truncated version, and this part is removed. After that, each issue is presented as a single chapter in the story. So flipping through this is really getting me excited for Doug Braithwaite's return in issue number 13. Issue number 13 is titled Frozen Faith Part 1, Cold Comfort, and we find a younger Conan, fresh from the Battle of Venarium, venturing into the White Wastes beyond the border of his homeland, a place to test his mettle and to satisfy his wanderlust. Jim Zub presents us with a young man in the midst of a spiritual quest of sorts, with Venarium offering no revelation of Crom's power, no sense of exaltation. He finds himself left with naught but the reality of his senses and the power of his own actions. A young man well on his path to discovering the ultimate spiritual truth of his people, that Crom cares not. The story is satisfyingly peppered with flashbacks to a young Conan and his father, the youngster demonstrating an inquisitiveness and intelligence as he questions his kin as to the nature of Crom, while his present older self confronts the wilds, demonstrating the knack for survival granted to Crom's children. Issue number 13 reminded me why I love Braithwaite, and he's one of my favorite Conan artists. The detail of his pencil work, the subtlety of expressions, not to mention the action, all wonderful. And there's the sexiness in the final panel. The daughter's allure promises to match the charged eroticism of Conan and Belit's intimacy in Braithwaite's second arc. Definitely for mature readers. I think readers will also be pleased with Diego Rodriguez's colors here, where much of his previous work was shrouded in the dark and the shadows. Here we're given the opposite, the bright whites of day and snow as a blank canvas for streaks of bloody crimson, the blues of Arctic ice and sky mirroring the Cimmerian's eyes. It's exceptional. As was promised, Jim Zub gives us an absolute palette cleanser. Other than the pictured presence of a certain Pictish blade, it's untethered from the epic run of the series' first year. Set as a celebration and perhaps an elaboration on the myth and magic of the Frost Giant's daughter, the story gives readers a sense of renewal. It's a curious effect in that the story is set well in the Cimmerian's past. It's refreshing, and upon its ending, we're given to understand that things are just beginning. Zub knows how to set things up, readying us for what's to come, leaving us eager to pick up the next issues. Readers aren't going to be disappointed with the change of tone and setting. It's a must-read. Now, returning to the trade paperback, the story is of course continued in issues 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we get all of the Jeffrey Shanks essays. These are a must-read, and if you haven't checked it out, please do watch my conversation with Jeff. And then we get this really nice covers gallery. There's more pages in the covers gallery here, and the covers are presented in greater detail than they are in the Bound in Blackstone Volume 1, so that's a nice bonus. Now, following the covers gallery, we get Pat Zerger's amazing covers, joined here in quadriptych or tetraptych, whatever you prefer. I would love to see these made available in a high-quality print on perhaps a watercolor paper. It would be so wonderful to have and hang on my wall. I think fans would appreciate that. And following Patch's fantastic image, we get a list of the creator bios: Jim Zub, Doug Braithwaite, Diego Rodriguez, Richard Starkings, and Jeffrey Shanks. And on the back page, an advertisement for the Savage Sword of Conan issue 1, the Conan Bound in Black Stone Volume 1 trade paperback, and of course the Conan the Barbarian Omnibus and the Savage Sword of Conan Omnibus, coming to us in September or October. And then on the back cover, Do Not Fear Death, Fear Conan, the second blood-soaked chapter in the legendary saga of Conan the Barbarian. After adventures on the high seas, Conan returns to shore to find himself haunted by his memories of Belit, captain of the Tigris and the queen of the Black Coast. Can a high-stakes heist draw him out of his tortured past, or will it plunge him deeper into the chaos that has always been waiting for him? In this second volume of the new Conan the Barbarian adventures, writer Jim Zub teams up with the legendary artist Doug Braithwaite for a truly extraordinary and savage new tale. And we see the art on the back cover is from Alex Horley. All in all, a great volume to pick up following the Bound in Black Stone Volume 1, so if you haven't read the monthly issues, here's your opportunity to read them in full. So, key takeaways. If you bought the previous Bound in Black Stone trade paperback, I'd say you know what you're getting here. It certainly matches the quality of that volume. The pages don't possess the same depth-enhancing gloss as do the monthly issues, but such is the luxury of reading them in that format. Overall, it's a great reproduction of the illustrations and colors that were found in the original issues. And just like the previous collection, we get a really good look at Francesca Burrell's map. It retains all of Jeff Shanks' essays, and it gives us a covers gallery. And the gallery in this volume is a better presentation than in the previous one. We don't get any other special content, though. The Bound in Black Stone Volume 1 collection presented some design sketches of Brissa, but we don't see anything of that kind here. I suppose it would have been nice to see some rough pencil work from Braithwaite, similar to what we saw at the back of the Free Comic Book Day 2024 issue of Battle of the Black Stone. But it's certainly not a make it or break it kind of thing. Ultimately, this is another must-have collection of an outstanding series. It's a great opportunity for people to get a chance to read a high-quality series in a high-quality format at a fantastic price. Finally, in addition to next week's release of Jim Zub and Doug Braithwaite's issue number 13 of Conan the Barbarian, San Diego Comic-Con will be taking place, and there'll be special panels to celebrate year 2 of Conan the Barbarian. Undoubtedly, there'll be special announcements, and hopefully we hear about the extended run of the Savage Sword of Conan. If you attend, you'll find these special covers for issue number 13. I love this one in particular. It's an updated take on the cover for issue number 13 of Marvel's What If series featuring Conan. If anyone happens to be attending and wants to send one my way, I'm just saying. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing, and until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.